Did you know there's a fish so tiny it could easily go unnoticed?
And yet it feeds the entire world? It's not a super predator, nor an exotic creature.
It's the humble sardine. But what's truly surprising isn't its size, but its impact.
But in reality, they're fleeing from sharks, dolphins, seabirds.
Waiting to transform them into a product so common that you probably already have it.
At home, the classic can of sardines. How is such a fragile animal caught, transported,
and transformed into a food that can last for years without refrigeration?
What technology is hidden behind this process? And why has Portugal become the global epicenter of this industry?
Today, we'll embark on a journey that goes from the ocean floor to the most advanced production lines,
where science, engineering, and tradition fuse. Prepare to discover the incredible journey of a tiny fish.
With a colossal history. In the vast Atlantic Ocean, sardines are not just inhabitants.
They are barely 15 to 20 centimeters long, but they're massive migrations.
With schools that can extend for tens of kilometers, literally feed an entire ocean.
Easily catchable and extremely nutritious energy source. The sardine doesn't hunt, it doesn't dominate.
But in that apparent fragility lies its strength, because by being the intermediate link,
it is a living bridge between the smallest organisms of the sea and the most colossal.
Every year, when water temperatures begin to rise between spring and autumn, sardines gather in spectacular formations called schools. It's not a coincidence.
The Weddell seal, an apex predator of the Antarctic, relies on speed and agility to breach the defenses of the shimmering silverfish,
but activate biological signals that can trigger true migrations of other species.
reactivate entire coastal economies. Sardines generate jobs, international trade, and an industry that moves millions. For some towns, their arrival marks the beginning of the productive year. Thus, a tiny fish sustains an ecological and economic architecture that few see, but that all need.
Without sardines, the ocean would be a radically different place, and perhaps
the great hammerhead, an apex predator of the reef, begins its approach, focusing intently on the shimmering bait ball of mackerel.
That allow them to locate schools of sardines several kilometers away. These systems identify
the characteristic flow of the schools, helping to position the boat with accuracy.
Once the school is located, a specialized net called a purse seine is used.
This net forms a huge circle around the school and closes from below like a purse,
trapping thousands of sardines in a single movement. This method is highly efficient
and minimizes harm to other species. Speed is crucial. After capture,
the sardines are quickly transferred to tanks with ice or cold storage rooms at temperatures
of up to minus 20 degrees Celsius. This stops the decomposition process
and preserves their texture and flavor. A single cast can catch tens of tons.
Technology and machinery. Industrial sardine fishing is a complex choreography.
Between science and tradition, every detail counts, because what happens here determines the quality of the product that will arrive weeks later to millions of tables around the world.
Once the net closes and the sardines are caught, a new race begins. That of time. These small creatures, so rich in natural oils, are extremely delicate.
Just a few hours without refrigeration are enough for their quality to completely deteriorate.
That's why, as soon as they come aboard, the protocol is clear. Cool, cool, and cool.
Sardines are quickly transferred to large tanks full of marine ice, or to more modern vessels,
to freezing chambers that reach temperatures of up to minus 20 degrees Celsius.
Here there is no room for errors. Every degree, every minute is crucial to preserve its flavor and texture.
The sardines are carefully unloaded and placed in special thermal containers,
insulated, sealed, and filled with ice inside. These containers guarantee a continuous cold chain.
To the factory. Nothing is left to chance. From the moment they are fish, sardines are treated like a luxury product. Because if there's one thing this industry knows very well,
is that freshness is not improvised. As soon as they arrive at the factory,
the sardines face an environment designed with precision for one thing only:
to maximize their natural quality. The first step is sorting by size.
Sardines pass through a machine equipped with rotating discs and sieves that separate.
The larger specimens destined for premium lines, from the smaller ones,
which will be processed into standard products. Once classified, the sardines
are placed in enormous tanks filled with brine. This concentrated solution of water and salt is not
a simple conservation step. Brine has three critical functions.
It firms the flesh, intensifies the flavor, and helps eliminate external impurities.
Depending on each plant's protocol, soaking can last between 2 and 6 hours.
After this bath, the sardines are transferred by automated belts to the cleaning area.
Here, jets of cold water under pressure, capable of reaching up to 50 liters per minute.
The water not only cleans, it acts as a sensory filter that prepares each sardine for visual inspection.
At this point, a human operator or an intelligent system scans the batch.
Colors, shapes, or imperfections are detected, discarding fish that don't meet the standard.
Then comes strategic sorting. Sardines are not grouped randomly.
Each production line is optimized for a specific size, and the speed of the process depends.
Some plants handle up to 5 tons per hour without stopping.
All this happens in a closed system, where hygiene, temperature control, and automation are priorities.
Every second counts, and every error can mean the difference between a perfect conserve
and one that will never reach the market. This initial phase is much more than a preparation.
It is the starting point where technology, experience, and raw material align.
To ensure the process continues with an impeccable foundation. Here is where human precisely and mechanical efficiency meet face to face. Pre-processing is a critical stage.
It's when each sardine is opened, cleaned, and prepared to enter the can.
But unlike other large fish like tuna or salmon, sardines require much more delicate handling.
Their skin is thin, their bones are soft, and their flesh is highly perishable.
In more artisanal or high-end production lines, the work is manual.
Experienced operators, with thin gloves and keen senses, carefully remove the head and entrails of each sardine.
They do it with such speed that each person can process more than 1,000 units per hour.
At the same time, they visually inspect the color and detect anomalous odors.
If a sardine smells sour, slightly rancid, or has abnormal colorations, it's immediately discarded.
Once gutted, they are placed in stainless steel trays with small holes that allow water to drain, without damaging the fish's texture. Each sardine is arranged by hand, with millimeter precision, so that it maintains its intact shape. But in high-volume plants, technology takes over.
Automated cutting systems with intelligent sensors analyze the exact size of each fish.
And in fractions of a second, make precise cuts to remove the head and entrails without crushing
or spoiling the flesh. These machines can process up to 7,000 sardines per hour, multiplying productivity and reducing human error. Even so, there is always a final human check.
Because no matter how much technology there is, no sensor equals the trained eye and nose. This phase is much more than a technical formality. It is the threshold between a raw fish and a food ready to transcend. Once clean and perfectly aligned, the sardines are ready to enter the most symbolic moment of the process, the canning.
Here, precision is everything. Each can must contain an exact amount of sardines.
Perfectly positioned. If they are bent, twisted, or in poor condition, the consumer will notice it instantly.
That's why many of the operators working at this stage are authentic experts in manual packaging.
With quick and calculated movements, they place 30 to 40 cans per minute.